Buying a new car can cause somewhat of a conflict. Your family's growing, so you need more space, but giving up the fun of the drive just is not an option. On this edition of Test Drive, the Audi SQ5. While the SQ5 shares the same 3-litre supercharged V6 as the regular model, it brings much more spice. First, the horsepower jumps from a respectable 272 to 354. Now that's good, however what makes this car is the torque on tap. It rises from 295 to a tyre-squealing 347 pound-feet. The performance increase brings a stronger launch, better mid-range and a ton of top-end go. The exhaust also adopts a purposeful tone when the SQ5 is driven to its considerable limits. So does this SQ5 have the right sort of numbers? In a nutshell, yes. It'll get you from rest to 100k in 5.3 seconds, and it does so while sipping 9.9 litres per 100 kilometres when you're cruising the highway. Now to put that into perspective, that's just 0.7 litres per 100 kilometres more than the regular Q5 with a V6. In other words, performance without penalty. The power is relayed to the road through an 8-speed automatic transmission and Audi's Quattro all-wheel drive. The transmission brings the right blend of ratios to support the stronger work ethic, while Quattro shuttles the power around depending upon the demand, and it does so in a seamless fashion. Factor in the optional 255 40R21 tyres and the amount of grip is first rate, even as the ragged edge approaches. It really does take a lot to get the SQ5 to break loose. The cabin of this SQ5 speaks to the sportiness of the vehicle. These diamond quilted seats deliver superb support and they're very, very comfortable. A nice flat bottom steering wheel and even the grey gauges, well, they're classic and speak to speed. The one thing I don't like is how the options affect the price of this car. $2,800 for a navigation system? I don't think so. The engine, transmission and steering can be tailored to suit through Audi's Drive Select. In each case, the mode adapts the throttle, upshifts and steering. The sound actuators housed in the inner tailpipes open and amp up the exhaust tone when in dynamic mode. The best setting for everyday driving is Auto, as it delivers an easygoing demeanour that's ready to pounce when the gas is stabbed with authority. Find a twisty section of road and dynamic mode brings a real speedster with lightning-fast reflexes. You know, this SQ5 isn't all about going round corners quickly. It does have its practical side. The back seat will accommodate 3 adults should the need arise, and it's got 824 litres of cargo space with the seats upright. Fold them down and that number grows to 1623. You'll also find the tie downs needed to secure a heavy load and a cubby beneath the floor that's ideal for muddy hiking boots. The icing on the cake is the manner in which the SQ5 handles. Its on-road comportment is more S4-like than it is crossover. The Quattro system and a sophisticated suspension combine to deliver a drive that obeys input with unerring accuracy. There's very little body roll, understeer is a long way out, and the feedback afforded by the steering is much better than average. As for the ride quality, well, the sportier suspenders are taut, but comfortably compliant nonetheless. Finally, the SQ5's brakes have been upsized. When called upon repeatedly, their performance remains reassuringly fade-free. For somebody with family commitments that doesn't want to give up the joy of driving something very special, this Audi SQ5 really does fit the bill. It's very quick, it handles very nicely, but it's also got all of the flexibility and utility required by a growing family. In other words, the complete package.